Hello students, this is your environmental science teacher, Mr. Tao, and today we're going to look at aquatic biodiversity. And so this is a brief outline. We're going to look at saltwater and freshwater ecosystems. And you can look at these slides a little slower on your own, but for now I'm going to highlight on the important parts. So basically there's several factors that affect aquatic ecosystems. Those limiting factors are temperature, light, dissolved oxygen, and nutrients. Unlike terrestrial ecosystems, water is not a limiting factor. Light, of course, is an issue because as you increase in depth, there's going to be less light. More suspended material that's in the water, the less light there is as well. So basically, there are four groups of organisms that live in aquatic ecosystems. They include phytoplankton and zooplankton, nekton, your strong swimmers, benthos that live on the seafloor, and decomposers such as bacteria. And these guys generally live from the top to the bottom. So basically we look at 71% of Earth's surface as containing water. Most of that is salt water, and it is a communal dumping ground. That's the big take-home message here. Saltwater ecosystems are a communal dumping ground. They're often referred to as the world's toilet, as I've said before in class. So where are these life zones, right? So we've got life zones of the ocean that are defined right here. You can click on this animation over here on your own. I'm not going to do that right now, but when you're going through the PowerPoint yourself, you can click on it. But basically, light is the deciding factor here, right? So light is what makes this go from this zone up here to this zone down here. In the open ocean over here, we call this the pelagic province of the ocean, which is then divided more into different regions. Okay, so basically if I put on my ink pen right here, okay, everything over here is the pelagic province. Okay, that's the pelagic. And then over here, if I change the color of my pen for just a minute to green, this guy over here, this is going to be the neritic or coastal zone. And then everything on the bottom, okay, over here in, let's see, yellow, this is considered your benthos. Okay, so that's basically what we're looking at. And you guys can watch this little video here of Nemo that shows us what life is like in the abyss. There's our zones. All highlighted. Your book calls the coastal zone up here, calls this coastal, but technically we like to call it the neritic zone. All right, and again, all these are all on the right-hand side are all your pelagic province. Okay, so coastal zone is from the high tide mark to the edge of the continental shelf, nutrient rich. That's where most of life lives in the ocean. Estuaries are areas where seawater mixes with fresh water, and usually we have tidal impact. Now, one of the worst affected estuaries by humans is got to be the Betsaboka estuary. That's in Madagascar. Due to tremendous deforestation, we're seeing lots of, as you can see in the picture right here, lots of runoff, lots of turbidity, lots of erosion. Betsaboka estuary. You should Wikipedia or Google that on your own after watching this. All right, so here's some of the key players we would find in coastal ecosystems: waterfowl, shorebirds. Water pollutants are filtered, which is why marshes are so important, like the meadowlands, and mangrove forests where we have rooted trees that are growing in shallow water. Okay, so humans, 50% of the U.S. population lives in a coastal area. And due to degradation of that, because so much population lives there, coastal areas are being affected more than any other zone of the ocean by humans, right? So we see two different types of beaches, really. We've got these sandy beaches, which we see up and down the Jersey Shore. Most of the eastern United States is sandy beach. Jersey Shore, Virginia Beach, Cape Hatteras, North Carolina, most of Florida. And these are some of the common organisms you'll find there. This is what they usually test you on in the AP exam. There's a blue crab, right, that I picked up on a sandy beach. And it's got eggs on the bottom of it. And we can see here he's right there, right? That guy right there is a ghost crab, common at night on sandy beaches. These guys prey on sea turtles often, right? And then you know that guy, right? There he is. And there he is right there. And so that is a horseshoe crab. And of course, you can't pick up an organism like that without drawing some attention. Everybody's got to take a look, have a hold, but also a common sandy beach creature, right? And we got rocky beach organisms, right? So rocky is what we find mostly in the Pacific coast. Sorry, I went a little fast. These guys are sea anemones, sea stars. We don't see those at the Jersey Shore as much. Hermit crabs. And you can watch this video on your own of a hermit crab, right? And you can see actually he's providing habitat for some barnacles right there on top of his shell, right? Mussels, another common shore creature. Okay, so that's all I have for this PowerPoint. We're going to get to barrier islands in the next screencast. Now you can go ahead and cancel this show, go through the slides, and answer the checkpoint questions.